In topic A.5 neuropharmacology, the essential idea down here really does a nice job of tying it all together. So the communication between neurons, those are nerve cells, right, can be altered, changed, through the manipulation, and this is the important part, through release and reception. So when we're looking at this, if you remember, we talked about like the end of a neuron meeting a new neuron. Sometimes we drew it like this. And in order for us to continue with this impulse, which we call an action potential, to continue with this action potential to the next neuron to carry whatever desired signal we want, we release neurotransmitters in this space in between, which is called the synapse, or sometimes called the synaptic cleft. The synapse actually refers to like this whole thing, the presynaptic neuron, the postsynaptic neuron, and the cleft. But right here in the cleft, in this space, we need neurons to travel. So they can be manipulated, and we're going to look at manipulated with drugs. And the way it manipulates it is it controls like how things are released or how they're received. And I would like to add, a lot of drugs affect how we reuptake the neurotransmitters after they've been released into the synapse. So that's pretty much what this topic is going to be about. So let's talk about A.5.1. So it says simply state that some presynaptic neurons, they can either excite or they can inhibit what happens on the other side of this synapse. So what that's saying is, and I've got a picture on the right, but I'll just draw another picture over here. What that's saying is that there are some neurons that can excite this one, so the signal continues, or they can cancel it. So this is important because when you're trying to relay information, whether it's a motor function or trying to recall some sort of memory, it depends on what gets transmitted, of course. I think that's the obvious thing, but also what doesn't get transmitted. So both of those things are very important. So we're definitely going to look at this when we talk about drugs further on in this. So there are some drugs that we call excitatory because they continue maybe too much of that signal going from one neuron to the next. Or they can inhibit, alcohol, for example, can inhibit the transmission, and then you lack some certain motor skills. So that's what this is saying here. Like some excite, some inhibit, and then because of that, you can't reach this action potential.